Hi, Paul Higgins here. In this tutorial I want to show you how to create an AT5 file from a KML. An AT5 file is a file that is used on a lot of chart plotters. So if you can create this file, you can simply transfer it to your chart plotter. So what we're going to look at, the sources for a KML. We're going to look at the KML options to create an AT5. Then we're going to create a KML BMP. And then we're going to create an AT5 file. And then we're going to create a modification project. Now I want to show you what sources you can use to create a KML file. Let's go back to Stack Chart here. To create a KML file, you can use any source you like. Let's go back here, SAS Planet. You can use the simplest one of just creating a chart from what is displayed on SAS Planet, or you could have used the select multiple zoom levels to create the chart on there and have multiple zoom levels for the chart. Or you could use the tiling one to tile it down, tile the SAS Planet image down, up rather, into a higher zoom level. Or you could have used the a polygon or an HLG to create the chart. And these would have all worked. But in this tutorial, we're going to do the simplest one. We're simply going to create I'm just going to raise this up a little bit, 16. It's on zoom level 16 right now. So we're going to use the simplest one. We're going to just simply take and display the area on SAS Planet, give it a name, and then create it. Okay? So that are the sources. Next thing I want to show you is the KML option that allows you to create an AT5 file. If I go to the KML options here, there is a checkbox that says on successful completion, invoke the Insight Map Creator to create an AT5 file. So SatchAchart comes with the Insight Map Creator, and if this is checked, it will invoke it. So let's just go back here, and that's all there is to the options. Okay, let's go ahead and create the KML file, which will also create a corresponding BMP. If I go back to SatchAchart here, and we've got the chart type as KML, we're going to create charts from SAS Planet, and we have set in the Google Earth options here, not the Google Earth, the KML options. We've set the on successful completion and invoke Insight Map Creator to create an AT5. So if we go back here, we follow the instructions here. It says on SAS Planet, display the area you want to create a chart. So we did that. Here it is, and it says zoom level 16. And then it says put in the chart location name field here, put in the name. Marina Hemingway. The depth units are unknown because it's a satellite chart here. And I guess that's about it. So now we're going to simply create a KML and its associated BMP. Okay, it brought up this pop-up, and we'll go back and look at that in a minute. What I want to look at is what it created. So we'll go back to our directory here, chart testing, and it created a KML file, and in here it would have the coordinates of the KML file, and it would also reference this BMP, which actually has the image. It also created a SAP file. This is a project file for Insight Map Creator. It needs that. And all the information in there has been already set up by SatUrChart. And it also created a working directory, which we'll look at in a minute when it puts more stuff in there. So we go back to here. Sorry. We go back here, and this is the pop-up that came up. It says all the Insight Map Creator fields have been set. The Atlas version is 13. Evidently, that's something important for your chart plotter. If it's not 13, you might have to change it. You may have to modify other fields. And after it brings up the Insight Map Creator, it tells you to hit build twice. So we press this. And what it does, it brings up the Insight Map Creator program. And if we look at some of the things here, it has set our folder to the same as our folder over here. It has set the minimum and maximum resolution. This corresponds to zoom level 16. And SatUrChart already set that for you. And also set the working directory here. If we go and look at some of the options here, the Atlas option is 13, and as I said, you may want to change that. What else? Atlas description. This is what is going to be put inside your AT5 file. And it will show on your AT5 file, when you're looking at that chart, it will have Marina Hemingway. Okay, so we can go ahead and now, as it's told us to do, hit build twice. Hit it once, and notice it created another file here. This is a world directory file, and it's needed by Insight Map Creator to know what the coordinates of what we're creating. And if we hit it again, it does something here. And now, if we go look in this working directory, it created a subdirectory called AT5, and it created this here file called 3D texture for AT5. That is the actual file that you would copy and put into some kind of a micro USB or SD card, and you would transfer that to your chart plotter. So that's all there is to actually creating the AT5 file. Okay, what we want to look at now is creating a modification project. I'll show you what that is. We go back to SatUrChart and the Insight Map Creator window that it brought up here. It will have set up everything that you need in this here project file. It would have set the Atlas option to 13 and everything else would be set that way. But suppose for some reason your chart plotter doesn't use Atlas 13, it uses, say, Atlas 12. And maybe some of these raster options are not correct. Let's see. Maybe the filter should be 20. And again, I'd have no idea what that means, but you would set it. And now, it would have that information in there, 12, and the raster option will be different. Now what you have to do to save this is click the File button, then Save As, and you would create a file called IMC Mods, and you put it in this chart testing directory. That's not the right directory. You have to go down to the chart testing. Here, this is where you'd put it, IMC Mods, and you save it. Then, the next time you create an AT5 file, it would automatically look for that AMC Mods, and it would set everything correctly. So let's just try it. Go back here, and we're going to create another KML file. Forgot to put the name in it. Okay, it brings up this, and that brings up the Insight Map Creator window. And notice now the project file has increased to 2. And if we look at the options now, it's automatically changed it to 12. And the raster option has a filter of 20. So now, every time you create an AT5 file, you don't have to reset these. That's what the IMC Mods file is for. Okay? That's all there's for that. Okay, I showed you there's many sources to create the KML file. We looked at the options to create AT5, and there was a little checkbox there you had to check. Then we created a Kml BMP file, and it created a bunch of other files, project files and work files that were to use. And after you hitting build twice, it actually created the AT5 file, and that's the file that you would transfer to your chart plotter. And then, if we happen to need to make modifications, we can make a modification project, IMC Mods, and it will remember all the modifications so you don't have to put them in every time. Thank you for watching.